Have you ever woken up feeling unusually tired, maybe a little dizzy, or with a dull headache? You might have thought it was just part of getting older, something to expect as the years pass. But what if I told you that it's not just age catching up? Sometimes, a simple habit you do every night could quietly be raising your risk of something serious, like a stroke, while you sleep. It's easy to overlook, almost like a small thing that doesn't matter. Yet, this little habit can have a big impact on your brain health. In this video, I'm going to share with you the surprising habit that's more dangerous than most people realize. By the end, you'll learn how a few simple changes can help protect your brain and keep you healthier for years to come. Let's walk through this together. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. It's late evening. The house is quiet. For many people over 65, this is the most peaceful part of the day. Maybe you find yourself sitting in your favorite armchair, watching the end of a TV show, or reading a book by the lamp. You know you should get to bed, but time slips away. Just one more chapter, just one more episode. Or maybe, as you prepare for bed, you fill a tall glass of water, wanting to stay hydrated through the night. Perhaps you even fall asleep on the recliner instead of making it to the bedroom, or you lie down in bed in whatever position feels most comfortable at that moment. These little routines may feel harmless, just quirks of daily life as we get older. After all, what difference does it make if you go to bed a little late, or if you drink an extra glass of water before sleep? You might have always done things this way, and everything seems fine, until one day, it isn't. Here's something most people never pause to consider. Could these tiny, familiar habits, the ones that seem too small to matter, actually be putting your brain at risk? Could the way you sleep, or even when you sleep, be quietly raising your chances of having a stroke? At first, that idea might sound far-fetched. It's so easy to believe that stroke is something that just happens, something beyond our control, just a part of aging or bad luck. But as a doctor who has spent years caring for the aging brain, I have seen how some of the most common nightly routines can quietly, over time or even overnight, tip the balance. Let's take a step back and think about what happens when we sleep, and how habits that seem trivial might set off a dangerous chain reaction in the body. The nightly rituals we overlook. Most older Americans value a good night's rest, but getting it isn't always easy. Maybe you have trouble falling asleep, or you wake up several times each night to use the bathroom. Perhaps your body feels stiff or achy when you wake up. For many, adjusting the way we sleep feels like a losing battle. Just another thing we put up with as the years go by. But what if these sleep troubles aren't just a symptom of getting older? What if the little things we do each evening are making the situation worse? Let's start with the habit of staying up late. Retirement brings new freedom, no more alarm clocks, no fixed bedtime. It's tempting to read, watch TV, or scroll through your phone well past midnight. But research shows that our bodies, especially as we age, thrive on routine. The brain and heart both benefit from a regular sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day helps keep our internal clock balanced. But when sleep is irregular, our bodies produce more stress hormones, our blood pressure can spike, and our blood vessels are put under extra strain. All of this quietly increases the risk of blood clots, those tiny, sticky traffic jams in the bloodstream that can cause a stroke. Then there's the common habit of drinking a lot of water right before bed. Hydration is essential, but did you know that gulping down several glasses at night may disrupt your body's balance? First, it sends you running to the bathroom in the middle of the night, breaking your sleep cycle and preventing deep, restorative sleep. Second, if you sleep through the urge to get up, your body can become mildly dehydrated by morning, especially if you sleep in a warm room or with the heat on. Dehydration makes your blood thicker and stickier, increasing the odds that a clot could form and travel to the brain. Finally, there's how we sleep. Many older adults, especially those with arthritis or joint pain, end up sleeping in positions that aren't ideal for blood flow. Perhaps curled tightly on one side, or with pillows stacked too high, or in a recliner with legs down. These positions can restrict circulation, particularly if you stay still for hours. When blood moves slowly or pools in certain areas, it's more likely to form clots. If that clot breaks loose, it can block a vessel in the brain, causing a stroke in a matter of minutes. The science, simply explained. Let's break this down in a way that's easy to picture. Your blood vessels are like a network of tiny highways, carrying oxygen and nutrients all over your body, including straight to your brain. In younger years, these vessels are flexible and strong. But as we age, they naturally become less elastic, more prone to developing small tears or plaques. Think of it like old garden hoses. After years of use, they're just not as sturdy. If you don't move much at night, or if your body becomes even slightly dehydrated, your blood thickens a little. Most of the time, this isn't a problem. But if a thick spot, called a clot, forms and starts moving, it can get stuck in a narrowed vessel. If that vessel is in the brain, you have a stroke. This is why stroke is sometimes called a brain attack. It comes on suddenly and can be devastating. What makes things trickier for older adults is that your body's natural defenses against clots become less effective. Your blood is a little slower, your vessels a little more fragile. That's why things you could get away with at 40 or 50, sleeping wherever, skipping water, staying up late, may suddenly have real consequences at 70 or 80. The good news? You have much more control over these risks than you might think. Gentle, everyday solutions that make a difference. Changing lifelong habits isn't always easy, but the steps that protect your brain and lower your risk of stroke are surprisingly simple and gentle. 1. Keep a regular sleep schedule. Try to go to bed and wake up at roughly the same times each day, even on weekends. Your brain loves rhythm and routine. If you're used to staying up late, move your bedtime a little earlier each week until you find what works best for your body. 2. Hydrate smartly. Drink water throughout the day, aiming to be well hydrated by evening. After dinner, cut back on big glasses of water. Sip, don't gulp. If you get thirsty at night, a small glass is enough. This helps you avoid multiple bathroom trips and keeps your body balanced. 3. Sleep in a healthy position. Aim to sleep flat on your back or your side with a pillow that keeps your head and neck in a neutral position. Not too high, not too low. If you use a recliner, try to elevate your legs slightly and change positions occasionally. Gentle movement before bed, like stretching your arms and legs, also supports circulation. 4. Move a little before bed. Light movement, like walking around the house, stretching, or even gentle chair exercises, helps keep blood moving. If you wake up at night, stretch gently before returning to sleep. 5. Check in with your doctor. Regular health checkups can catch early signs of circulation problems or heart conditions. If you're starting new sleep habits or notice changes in how you feel, share that information with your doctor. They can help tailor advice for your unique situation. A real-life story. Let me tell you about someone I met in my practice, a woman named Mary, age 76. For years, Mary believed her sleep troubles were just part of getting older. She stayed up watching TV until midnight, then drank a big glass of water before bed, hoping it would keep her from waking up parched. She often fell asleep in her recliner, too tired to make it to her bedroom. One morning, Mary woke up feeling unusually weak on one side of her body and confused. Her daughter rushed her to the hospital, where doctors quickly realized she'd had a minor stroke during the night. Thankfully, Mary recovered, but it was a wake-up call. Afterward, Mary and I worked together to make some small but meaningful changes. She set a regular bedtime, cut back on evening fluids, and started stretching before bed. She made her bed more comfortable and asked her daughter for help arranging her pillows. Within weeks, Mary noticed she was sleeping more deeply, waking up less during the night, and feeling sharper during the day. She became an advocate in her senior center, encouraging friends to pay attention to their sleep and hydration habits. Mary told me, "I thought I was just unlucky, but I learned I had more power over my health than I ever realized." If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Encouragement and closing thoughts. If Mary's story sounds familiar, you're not alone. So many of us get set in our ways, believing these little habits can't possibly matter. But your brain is counting on you. By paying attention to the small routines, the ones that happen every night without much thought, you can make a huge difference in your health, your independence, and your peace of mind. Remember, it's never too late to change. No matter how old you are, your brain and body are resilient. Every day is a new chance to take better care of yourself. So tonight, as you get ready for bed, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what small change can I make? Maybe it's going to bed a little earlier, choosing a better sleep position, or drinking just enough water. And not too much, not too little. These choices add up, and over time, they help protect your most precious asset, your brain. You've spent a lifetime caring for others. Now is the time to care for yourself, to enjoy each day with clarity and energy, and to trust that your everyday choices matter. Let's keep walking this path together, one healthy habit at a time. Let's talk about a nightly habit that quietly affects so many older Americans. One that feels so familiar and harmless, but may be putting your brain at risk. It's the way we wind down at night. For decades, you've probably had some version of this routine. After dinner, you find your favorite show on TV or a movie that brings back memories, and you settle into your comfortable chair. Maybe your spouse is nearby, or maybe you live alone and the television keeps you company as the hours slip by. The world outside is quiet, but inside your home, the soft glow of the screen and the gentle hum of voices make you feel connected, even if just for a little while. Maybe, around 11 p.m. or midnight, you realize how late it's gotten. You head to the kitchen for one last glass of water, maybe even two, because you don't want to wake up thirsty in the morning, especially if your bedroom is warm or the air feels dry. Sometimes, you don't even make it to the bedroom. You doze off right there in your chair, head tilted, legs folded under a blanket, drifting in and out of sleep as the credits roll. This scene is repeated in homes across America every single night. There's nothing inherently wrong with enjoying a good movie, savoring the quiet, or making sure you're hydrated. These habits often bring comfort and routine, a sense of normalcy after a lifetime of raising families, working hard, and facing life's challenges. But what if I told you that, as comforting as it is, this very routine could quietly increase your risk of a nighttime stroke? It's hard to imagine, isn't it? After all, how could a little TV, some water, and a nap in the chair hurt anyone? Yet, for older adults, these simple pleasures can sometimes mask hidden dangers. Let's explore why. Why this habit raises stroke risk overnight. First, let's look at the late night hours. The body runs on an internal clock, a rhythm that loves predictability. When you stay up late, especially past your natural bedtime, you disrupt this clock. Hormones that help regulate blood pressure and blood clotting get out of sync. Your blood pressure might rise, or your heart rate might dip lower than usual as you sleep. If you add to that the habit of falling asleep in a chair instead of your bed, your body's circulation can become less efficient. Sitting for hours, especially with legs down, causes blood to pool in the lower part of your body, slowing circulation. This can lead to a higher chance of blood clots forming in your legs or pelvis. Now let's add in the water. Drinking too much just before bed seems like a good idea. After all, hydration is key to so many aspects of health. But when you overload your body with fluids late at night, one of two things tends to happen. Either you wake up several times to use the bathroom, interrupting your deep sleep and putting extra strain on your heart and blood vessels with each trip, or if you sleep soundly, your body can become mildly dehydrated by the time you wake up. When we sleep, our bodies naturally lose water through breathing and sweating, especially if the room is warm or dry. That means your blood can become thicker and stickier overnight, just enough in some cases for a clot to form. Combined, late nights, falling asleep in a chair, and drinking a lot of water. These habits can set the stage for poor circulation, interrupted sleep, and thicker blood. In the delicate network of aging blood vessels, that's a recipe for trouble. What makes this even more dangerous is that, as we age, our blood vessels are more fragile and less able to bounce back from strain. Small clots that once would have dissolved naturally may now stick around, and if one of them travels to the brain, it can block the flow of blood to vital cells, causing a stroke, sometimes in the hours just before dawn. A real story. The night everything changed. Let me share the story of Mr. Harold Johnson, a man very much like so many people watching this video. Harold grew up in Ohio, worked 40 years as a factory supervisor, and after retirement, found peace in simple routines. Every night, Harold would watch the late news or an old western, then pour himself a big glass of water, sometimes two. His favorite place to relax was his old blue recliner. On chilly nights, he'd pull a blanket over his knees and drift off right there, the television quietly buzzing in the background. For Harold, this habit was a comfort, something he'd done since his wife passed away several years earlier. His children, all grown and living out of state, would call to check in, but Harold prided himself on his independence. He never thought twice about his routine. One morning, not long ago, Harold's neighbor, Mrs. Turner, noticed his newspaper hadn't been collected. She knocked on his door and, getting no answer, called his daughter. When they entered Harold's house, they found him sitting in his recliner, awake but confused, struggling to speak and unable to move his right arm. He had suffered a stroke during the early morning hours. At the hospital, the doctors traced back the likely cause, a combination of dehydration, irregular sleep, and poor circulation from sleeping upright in his chair. Harold had no major health problems before this, but that night, the small habits he'd never questioned all added up. Thankfully, his neighbor's quick thinking got him to the hospital in time for treatment, and with therapy, Harold regained much of his speech and mobility. But the experience was frightening for Harold and his family. Finding meaning in Harold's story. Harold's story isn't rare. It's becoming more common as people live longer, often alone and responsible for their routines. There's no blame in these habits, just a gentle reminder that sometimes comfort can cloud our awareness of risk. What made the biggest difference for Harold wasn't just the medical treatment he received, but the changes he made afterward. With the help of his family and care team, Harold moved his bedtime up by an hour, set an alarm to remind him when it was time to turn off the TV, and switched to a smaller glass of water before bed. His daughter helped him rearrange his bedroom so it felt cozier and more inviting than the living room recliner. At first, Harold missed the comfort of his old habits. Change is never easy, especially when it feels like a loss of independence. But Harold quickly discovered that he was sleeping better, waking up more refreshed, and most importantly, regaining confidence in his ability to care for himself. The risk of another stroke decreased. More than that, Harold felt a renewed sense of hope. He started inviting his neighbor over for evening chats, sometimes watching TV together, sometimes just sharing stories from the past. His nights became about connection rather than routine. The takeaway: your habits, your health, your power. If you find yourself nodding along to Harold's story, you're not alone. It's so easy to slip into habits that feel comfortable, especially when living alone or after losing a spouse. The familiar rhythm of late-night TV, the reassuring glass of water, the cozy recliner, they're not just habits, but companions through the quiet hours. But these same routines, left unchecked, can quietly raise your risk of something as serious as a stroke. The good news is, you have more power than you think. By making a few simple changes, like setting a regular bedtime, moving from the chair to your bed, and moderating your evening drinks, you're giving your brain and body a much better chance at a healthy, independent future. So tonight, before you settle in for your show, pause for a moment. Maybe set a timer or alarm for bedtime, choose a small glass of water, and remind yourself to stretch your legs before climbing under the covers. If you've always slept in the chair, give your bed another try. Bring a favorite pillow or blanket to make it feel familiar. Small steps can make a big difference. And if you ever feel alone in this journey, remember Harold's story. You're not just protecting your health, you're honoring all the years that brought you here, and giving yourself many more days of clear mornings, warm memories, and new joys. Your routines matter. Your well-being matters. You matter. As the day winds down and the quiet of the evening settles in, it's easy to slip into familiar patterns. Maybe pouring that last cup of tea, turning off the porch light, and watching a favorite old sitcom before bed. For many Americans over 65, the nighttime routine becomes a comforting ritual, a moment to reflect and unwind. Yet, just as you wouldn't drive the same route every day without checking for potholes or detours, sometimes our routines need a gentle review, a tune-up to keep us healthy for the long road ahead. Let's talk about some small, practical changes you can make tonight. Changes that don't require dramatic willpower, expensive gadgets, or turning your life upside down. The truth is, protecting your brain and lowering your stroke risk isn't about harsh discipline, but about a little awareness and a lot of kindness to yourself. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The familiar pattern. Picture this. You're watching television, and the clock strikes midnight before you realize how late it's gotten. Maybe you feel a little stiff, but the bed feels so far away. You think, it won't hurt if I stay up a little longer. Perhaps you drink a tall glass of water, worried you'll wake up thirsty in the early hours. Or maybe you stretch out on your recliner, convinced you'll only close your eyes for a moment, only to wake up at 3 in the morning with a sore neck and a dry mouth. It's a scene that plays out in homes across the country every night. For years, these habits might have seemed harmless, even helpful. But what if a few simple adjustments could make your nights more restful, your mornings brighter, and your risk of stroke much, much lower? Is change possible, even now? Here's the question. Do old habits have to dictate your future? Many people believe that after a certain age, routines are set in stone. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, they say. But the reality is far more hopeful. The body and brain are remarkably adaptive, even in our later years. Every small step you take, every little shift, sends a message to your body. I still care, and I still have the power to change. What if you could wake up tomorrow feeling more refreshed, with a clearer head, less grogginess, and a body that feels stronger? What if you could look forward to each night, not as a challenge, but as an opportunity for healing and renewal? Let's walk through some gentle, proven changes that make all the difference. The science, simply explained. Our bodies, especially as we age, thrive on consistency. The internal clock, the circadian rhythm, guides sleep, hormone release, and even blood pressure. When we stay up late one night and go to bed early the next, it throws our system off balance. Research shows that irregular sleep not only leaves us feeling tired but can increase inflammation and even raise blood pressure overnight, making those precious hours of sleep less restorative and more risky. The same goes for hydration. Water is essential, but the timing and amount matter. Drinking a lot right before bed can wake you repeatedly to use the bathroom. This not only disrupts deep sleep but also puts strain on your blood vessels as you move from lying down to standing up, sometimes leading to sudden drops in blood pressure. If you skip water entirely, you may wake up dehydrated, with thicker blood, making it easier for clots to form. Balance, as always, is key. And what about how you sleep? Poor positions, like propping too many pillows behind your head, curling up too tightly, or dozing in a recliner, can restrict blood flow and make your heart work harder at night. Over the years, even small restrictions can quietly increase risk. But don't worry, Changing these patterns doesn't have to be overwhelming. Here's how you can start, one gentle step at a time. Step 1. Create a consistent sleep schedule. This may sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do. Try setting a regular bedtime and wake-up time, and stick to it as closely as possible, even on weekends. You don't have to make a sudden leap. Just move your bedtime 15 minutes earlier each week until you reach the schedule that feels best for your body. The goal is about 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. Not too little and not too much. Creating a relaxing bedtime routine helps signal your body that it's time to wind down. Dim the lights about an hour before bed. Turn off screens if you can, TV, phone, tablet, and switch to something gentle, like soft music or a favorite book. If worries keep you awake, try jotting them down in a journal, giving your mind permission to rest. Step 2. Smart hydration, all day long. It's tempting to catch up on fluids in the evening, but your body prefers a steady intake. Keep a water bottle nearby throughout the day and sip regularly. After dinner, slow down on fluids. If you feel thirsty near bedtime, take a few small sips, enough to feel comfortable but not enough to send you running to the bathroom all night. For most people, 8 to 10 cups of water spread throughout the day is plenty, but always listen to your doctor if you have special needs. If you take medication that acts as a diuretic or affects your thirst, talk to your healthcare provider about the best schedule for you. You might find that adjusting medication timing, in consultation with your doctor, can make your nights much more restful. Step 3. Sleep in a supportive position. The way you position your body at night can make a big difference. Sleeping flat on your back or your side with a pillow that keeps your head and neck in a neutral position supports healthy blood flow. Avoid stacking pillows too high. This can kink your neck or make breathing harder. If you have acid reflux, talk to your doctor about gentle ways to elevate your head without straining your neck. If you're used to falling asleep in a chair or recliner, try making your bed more inviting. Add a favorite quilt, adjust the lighting, or play soothing sounds. If arthritis or other pain makes your bed uncomfortable, look into memory foam toppers or body pillows. Many seniors find they're well worth the investment. Step 4. Gentle movement before bed. A little movement before sleep does wonders for circulation. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. Try these simple stretches. Reach both arms overhead and then out to the sides. Gently roll your shoulders. Lift your knees one at a time while seated. Circle your ankles and wrists. Even a short walk down the hallway and back can wake up your muscles and help your body settle for the night. If you feel unstable or have trouble balancing, hold onto a chair or the side of your bed. The point isn't to push hard or break a sweat, but simply to let your blood move freely and tell your body, it's time to rest. Step 5. Stay connected with your health team. Don't wait for your annual checkup to bring up sleep, hydration, or nighttime routines. Your doctor, nurse, or pharmacist can offer specific advice tailored to you, whether it's adjusting medications, checking for sleep apnea, or suggesting safe ways to get more comfortable at night. Even mentioning a small change, "I'm sleeping in my chair more often lately," can reveal important clues that help keep you safe. If you're unsure about how to make these changes, ask a loved one or friend to join you in building new routines. Many senior centers offer gentle yoga, chair exercise, or sleep workshops, and your local library might have resources for sleep health. A real-life example: Helen's nightly turnaround. Let me tell you about Helen, a spirited 78-year-old from Minnesota. For years, Helen struggled with waking up groggy and stiff, convinced it was just her age catching up. She'd spend late evenings watching reruns, drinking tea, and sometimes even dozing off in her armchair. After a minor health scare, a dizzy spell that landed her in the ER, her doctor suggested she rethink her routine. With a little encouragement, Helen began making small changes. She set an alarm for bedtime, made her bedroom cozy with photos and a soft comforter, and cut back on evening tea. She learned a few stretches from her community center's chair yoga class and started journaling her thoughts before sleep. Within a month, Helen felt more rested, her mind was sharper, and she woke up with fewer aches. Best of all, she regained a sense of control over her health, and her confidence soared. Helen's story isn't unique. Small, steady steps can add up to big change, even when it feels like life is already set in its ways. A word of encouragement. So if you're watching this, wondering if it's worth trying something new, I'm here to tell you, yes, it is. The gift of later life is the wisdom to see that little things matter. A glass of water, a soft pillow, a gentle stretch, a conversation with your doctor. Each is a thread in the tapestry of your well-being. Tonight, as you prepare for bed, choose one gentle change. Maybe it's setting a regular bedtime. Maybe it's reaching for water earlier in the day. Maybe it's fluffing your pillow and stretching your arms. Whatever you choose, do it with care, knowing that you are investing in a healthier tomorrow. And if you stumble, don't be discouraged. Habits take time to form, and every day is a fresh start. Remember, you're not alone. Thousands of seniors across America are on this journey with you, cheering for every step forward. Your brain, your heart, your spirit, they all benefit from the love and attention you give them now. Take this moment as your invitation to care, to hope, and to believe in your resilience. You deserve nothing less. It's easy to fall into a rhythm as the years pass, a comforting pattern that feels safe, familiar, and earned after a lifetime of hard work. For many older Americans, those quiet hours after dinner become sacred. The world slows down. The phone stops ringing. Maybe you settle into your favorite chair, a cup of tea or water within arm's reach, the television glowing softly as the sun dips behind the trees. It's a little sanctuary from the rush and noise of younger days. No one ever expects that these ordinary habits might one day turn into something dangerous. After all, what's so risky about relaxing late, enjoying a show, and sipping a drink before bed? Most of us think we know the difference between what's healthy and what's not, and we take comfort in the routines we've chosen. But sometimes, life surprises us in ways we never imagined. Let me share with you the story of Frank Sullivan, a proud Navy veteran from Pennsylvania, father of 3, and a man who took great pride in his independence. Frank had always been the sort who took care of himself. After his wife passed, he made sure the house was tidy, the lawn was trimmed, and every light bulb was replaced before it burned out. He loved his quiet evenings, feet up in his old recliner, a pitcher of iced tea on the table, and reruns of his favorite westerns keeping him company until late. For Frank, this routine was more than just a habit. It was a comfort, a way to fill the long periods after the loss of his beloved partner. He'd watch TV well into the night, sometimes falling asleep right there in the chair, only to wake up groggy with the remote still in his hand. He drank a lot of tea to keep from feeling thirsty overnight, never thinking much of it. Frank figured these were just small quirks of aging, nothing to worry about. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. One morning, though, Frank's life changed in an instant. He woke up unable to move his left arm, his speech slurred and confusing. He tried to stand, but his leg wouldn't support him. Panic bubbled up as he realized something was wrong. Luckily, his son was visiting and quickly called 911. Frank was rushed to the hospital, where doctors confirmed he'd suffered a mild stroke in the early morning hours. Lying in the sterile hospital room, with the steady beep of monitors filling the silence, Frank's mind churned with fear. Would he ever go home? Would he be able to mow the lawn again, tinker in his garage, or even pour his cup of tea? The thought of needing help for everything was almost more frightening than the stroke itself. But even in those first moments of fear, Frank felt a small flicker of hope. He was still here, and maybe, just maybe, things could get better. During his recovery, Frank met with doctors, therapists, and nurses who explained that his nightly habits had quietly increased his risk. Staying up late, dozing off in a chair, drinking large amounts of tea right before bed. All these little actions added up. His body, especially as he aged, needed regular sleep, steady hydration through the day, not all at night, and restful sleep in a bed that supported healthy circulation. For years, Frank had unknowingly set the stage for a blood clot to form during those long, interrupted, and sometimes dehydrated nights. At first, these explanations were hard for Frank to accept. How could something so simple be so dangerous? It almost felt unfair. But as he listened to the stories of others in his rehab group, people just like him, with similar routines and similar shocks, he realized he wasn't alone. Many of them shared the same fears and frustrations, but also the same stubborn will to get back the lives they loved. With the help of his care team, Frank began to make small, manageable changes. He set a gentle alarm for bedtime each night, no matter how tempting it was to watch another hour of TV. He made a point to drink most of his water and tea during the day, limiting his evening drinks to just a small glass. Most importantly, he returned to sleeping in his bed, using an extra pillow to prop himself up just enough to breathe comfortably but not restrict circulation. Before sleep, Frank tried light stretches, a few simple arm circles and leg lifts, nothing fancy, but enough to keep his blood flowing gently. Progress came slowly, but it came. Each morning, Frank woke with a bit more strength and clarity. His speech improved, his confidence grew, and little by little, he reclaimed pieces of his old independence. He learned to celebrate each small victory, brewing his coffee, trimming the roses in his yard, and inviting his grandson over for a Saturday ball game. Yet, what changed most for Frank was the way he viewed his routine. What was once a habit done without thought became a ritual of self-care, an act of honoring the life he still had. He took pride in making healthy choices, knowing each one was an investment in more good years ahead. Looking back, Frank would often say to friends at his local VFW, "It's not about giving up the things you love, it's about doing them with care, with a bit more thought." I learned that a routine can either hurt you or heal you, depending on how you use it. For anyone listening and thinking, "I'm too old to change," or "it's too late for me," Frank's journey offers a powerful lesson. Change doesn't have to be dramatic. It starts with awareness, a willingness to see the truth in your habits, and a gentle hand to guide them in a new direction. You don't have to do everything at once. Just pick one thing tonight. Maybe set a regular bedtime, drink a little less in the evening, or trade the chair for your bed. Ask your doctor for advice. Tell your family what you're trying to do. Let them support you. You might be surprised, as Frank was, at how quickly the body and mind respond to these small acts of care. Over time, sleep gets deeper, mornings feel brighter, and the fear of "what if" is replaced by the joy of "what's next." Frank's story is just one among millions, but it shines a light on something so many seniors share: the courage to face change, the wisdom to accept help, and the resilience to build a healthier tomorrow, no matter where you start. If you're ready, even just a little, let tonight be the first step. You've already overcome so much. This is just another adventure, another chapter, and you are more than capable of writing it well. Remember, habits are powerful, but so are you. Every positive change, no matter how small, is a victory. Take it one night at a time, and know that, like Frank, you have more strength and hope than you ever realized. As we come to the end of this journey together, I hope you feel a renewed sense of possibility and hope. Growing older brings many changes, some we expect and some that catch us by surprise. But if there's one message I hope you'll carry with you, it's that your daily habits truly matter, and it is never too late to start making gentle, positive changes for your brain and your overall well-being. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Instead, focus on the small, simple steps that fit naturally into your routine, like setting a regular bedtime, sipping water throughout the day, choosing your bed over the recliner, or adding a few gentle stretches before sleep. These choices may seem minor, but over time, they add up to a safer, stronger, and healthier you. Remember the stories you've heard, about Ruth, about Frank, and about the countless others who discovered that even long-held habits can be reshaped with patience, care, and the support of loved ones. You are never alone in this journey. Reach out to your family, friends, or doctor if you need encouragement or guidance. Every step you take is a step toward protecting your brain and enjoying more vibrant, independent years ahead. So tonight, as you prepare for bed, give yourself credit for every positive change, no matter how small. Your health is worth it. Your happiness is worth it. And you are worth it. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected for more valuable tips and stories. Wishing you restful nights and bright, healthy mornings.